Today we're going to look at some Western Washington native plants for food and medicine, and starting with one of the most common, kind of quintessential Pacific Northwest species is the salmonberry, Rubus spectabulus. I think all the Latin names sound like we should be in Harry Potter's world. So these are just ripening. So it's a late spring, early summer fruit, and they can be kind of orange and yellow, almost to red. So quite a few of these have actually been eaten already, but let's take a look at the leaf. So this is a trifoliate compound leaf, so 3 parts of the leaflets. For salmonberry, I was taught to look at it for the butterfly, so taking this one down, and then you have the butterfly shape and can fly away. So it's an erect, woody stem, and the trifoliate leaves. It gets the fuchsia colored flower. I think that I saw one that still had a petal left. And then here's the little green fruit starting. And here's a ripe fruit. Oh, there's a little insect. Quite a few of these have been eaten already. I think the birds have come through because quite a few of them are gone and we've been gone. So this is right outside our house. Anyway, large shrub. They can grow in partial shade, partial sun. Definitely gets pretty aggressive and large at times when it's happy. The new shoots, the new young shoots, sort of new growth that comes straight out of the ground that's kind of tender and floppy a little bit, that's edible. And you can sort of peel off the outer layer and eat the new shoot. The flowers are edible, and of course the fruits are edible. Take a look at one of its relatives over here. Has a similar shaped leaf, kind of butterfly, but not exactly the same. So trifoliate leaf, at least a different species of butterfly, and much more thornier. And instead of sort of that tan colored woody stem, you have this new green growth with this powdery bloom on the outside, which trailing blackberry has as well. Shoots of this are also edible. This is black-cap raspberry, Rubus occidentalis. And the leaves of this with the trailing blackberry look kind of similar on the top, and with that similar color to the stem, they can get confused. Both have edible fruits, so that's fine. But the back side of this is almost white, and on the trailing blackberry, the green does not vary that much from front to back. And this also grows in a more erect position where the trailing blackberry is going to be more vine-like and climbing over things and more lateral. So black-cap raspberry. So can look forward to the fruits of this in more full sun. Partial shade, a little bit like where it is right now, but it likes a lot more sun. You find it a lot on trail side edges in sunnier conditions. And in salmonberry, you might find like right on trail edges that are a lot shadier. Sunny too, but shady as well. This is past the time to harvest it for food, but this is, of course, stinging nettle, and it's growing tall enough now that it will be good cordage for a later date, so it's gone to flower already. So I harvest it earlier in the spring when they're probably about knee height, maybe a little bit longer, and I just harvest the tops, and then they'll keep growing, and then you can wait it out for cordage. This is like superfood. This is like vegan's best friend food because it's so full of nutrients that vegetarian and vegan diets need. You know, it has amino acids, it has really high iron content, it has calcium. Stinging nettle, the Urtica dioica, is also medicinal. So this is one of your food is medicine and food that can be used as medicine. So for teas and infusions, it can be used topically as well. You know, one of the interesting uses of it from historical uses was to actually use it kind of like whipping yourself with it, that stimulated, I think, for like rheumatism. So of course it does have a sting, but if you pat the cat in the right direction, you can actually pick one, and I'll kind of show you that. So, good. Thank you. So this is the past the time I'd want to eat it, but if you were going to, you could take it like this, and you see there's the little hypodermic needle hairs. Maybe you can see that go one direction. So there's a little bit on the top, so I'm just pet the cat the direction of the cat's hairs. And when you sort of squish those hypodermic needles on both sides, then you're actually able to eat it raw. But steaming it, pureeing it, cooking it in any way will also get rid of that, so you won't get the injection of the formic acid that stings. There's other chemicals that contribute too, but that's definitely one of them that hurts. You can see some insects have been starting out on these. This is my patch that I've been tending for years, where I take some every year, but it's grown and grown and grown. Stinging nettle has been used for all kinds of things, diuretic. It's also been used for seasonal allergies. I'm sure you'll probably come across this a lot in your herbal studies class. It's one I use a lot for food. I dry it, powder it, use it as a condiment. I add it to a lot of my cookings, but one of my favorite ways is just do a tea or infusion, and I get a lot of the nutrients I need for my day. So right here's a nice little shady area with some young trees that grew very, very fast. I think we've been in this house less than 10 years, and these weren't here when we arrived. It was all gravel. Now look at it. So this is a black cottonwood right here, a young black cottonwood. So the bark is still smooth. This will get more furrowed gray, large trunk over the years. And this is one of my very favorite medicine plants. It's not the time to harvest it now. It's really the buds in the winter time, like around February, is pretty perfect to go down by the river or wherever there happens to be cottonwood trees, maybe after a windstorm, where you find some down branches and you can harvest some of the leaf buds. So of course all the leaf buds have opened now, and there's already cottonwood fluff just starting to float by. So Populus trichocarpa or Balsamifera, they're subspecies of one another. Maybe you can kind of get the view there of the whole tree. I'll try to get closer to one of the more mature leaves for ID. So very shiny leaf. These can get quite large, like long. This is a pretty young tree. And the farther up you get a little bit bigger too. Kind of heart-shaped, finely toothed, very, very different color from front to back. Like I said, kind of leathery, shiny, slick. Backside light in color, alternate branching pattern. The buds remind me of little crab claws. They're really sticky and highly resinous and very aromatic. And I turn that into an infused oil or a salve, and it's kind of like nature's Neosporin. So this has both historical uses, and it's also used a lot today. A lot of herbalists and wildcrafters absolutely love going harvesting the annual wintertime harvest of cottonwood buds. Then growing right next to it is a young red alder.